Hey YouTubers, Steven here. How's everybody doing? Yeah, long time no see. Well, today, while we're having a little chat, I'm going to use red ale extract with some Nottingham ale yeast. Noble grape. I like the new containers, but going to do something a little different. We're going to use some dark brown sugar. We're going to do a hop tea for 15 minutes, but when everything gets going and the water gets boiling and I've got this in the hot water getting going, we'll be back and I'll explain a little more about the recipe and where I've been. Alright, so we're back. The water's just about ready for a boil. It's been kind of touch and go all afternoon. The house has just been busier more than ever, if you can imagine. Anyways, we've got red ale. Cheers everybody. 17. Let's get this update started before we get interrupted. So, some of you know, my mom has, or was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, it was late diagnosis, and she passed in the end of June. So, tried to spend as much time with her, you know, towards the end as much as we could, of course. And then, well, you can sort of hear in the background already, my son and his girlfriend had a baby a month later. So we have a beautiful granddaughter named Leia. Yes, Star Wars reference. I raised my kids right. But let's jump to the recipe right quick. I got 2 ounces of what I'm calling Cass Pearl. We'll talk more about the hops here in a minute. But there was a section of my hop plants where it was half Pearl and half Cascade. I really didn't know, so I just kind of went in. These are going together, and it's kind of an interesting mix of Pearl and Cascade. My water's boiling, so I wanted to do a 15-minute hop tea. Right, with the red ale. I really like the Pearl because it gives the red ale a little spiciness, like an Irish red. So, and of course, Cascade. This is actually the first time I'm using this year's hops. But, yeah, so we'll get this going here. We'll get my timer going for 15 minutes. And start 15 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this video to 15 minutes because I don't want it to be too long. So, and usually I use the light brown sugar. I'm going to use the dark. Just see what kind of molasses gives me a little addition on the taste there. And then I bought a new paint straining bag. My other one was getting holes and the hot material was getting through it. But, breathe. There's so much to go over. I don't want to miss anything. The biggest thing is that I don't want to miss. So I want to give out a shout out to my subscribers. I bumped into a few of you there over the past 5-6 months. You know, various places. Cheers everybody. Thanks for checking out my channel and thanks for coming up and saying hi. You know, some days I may have a real grumpy, cranky look on my face, but hey, just saying hi can totally change a person's day. Like, honestly, totally out of the blue. Yeah, it's amazing, you know. That's the thing I like about living in Nova Scotia. We're all so friendly here anyway. So, cheers to being friendly and, yeah, saying hi to your neighbor. I know it's not a very fancy beer, but yeah, I actually wrote down a bunch of stuff here to talk about. So, we've already got through a whole bunch. This year's hop trellis worked good. The filming of the hops and everything was kind of sketchy. So, I did piece together a video. So, that is all ready to be uploaded. I just want to give my hops a little stir here. Sorry for being rude. But yeah, so the trellis worked, and I did get some hops. I got, was it 11 ounces of Cascade? I think it was 12 or 14 ounces of Pearl. And the Newport, I just didn't pick. I got rid of my deep freezer. It was getting really old, so I figured it was really sucking up the power bad. So we're just using the deep freezer in my kegerator. I'm also using that for the Tupperware leftovers that I take for lunch. And man, does that ever save a lot of money taking leftovers for work. So I do have a plan for Hop Trellis version 2 next year. I won't say any more about that. You know, and one thing me and Darlene have gotten into over the past couple of years is doing a lot of gardening. Her morning glories really took off this year, and we had an interesting sunflower with 2 heads. And just in general, she keeps trying to grow different plants. But, and then, you know, throughout the summer, you know, comes hunting season, and trying to get into that. Bow season, I was late again this year getting set up. Had a few deer coming into the tree stand, but you can see by the pictures that the wind damage, I couldn't use the tree stand this year, so I ended up making a hunting blind on the ground. But for whatever reason, the does just aren't hanging around my area, so the bucks weren't coming around the area either. So I think next year I need to find another place to check out and try. They're definitely around Pine Peak. So this year I did a pumpkin ale. Last year I just didn't bother for whatever reason. I used a pale ale extract, but the thing I did different this year was I used cheesecloth to strain out all the pumpkin, and that worked really, really well. The only thing I have to cut back on is the nutmeg. That was just a touch too much, but other than that, you know, it was still really, really pleasant to drink. And I know there's some of you out there that says pumpkin. I happen to like it. It does taste like pumpkin pie. I just don't like the consistency of pie. So, what have we got coming up? Alright, so we got Hop Trellis video coming up. Like I said, I've wrapped up my whole hop season all into that one. The kids and Darlene got together and picked me up a Merry Maritimers Christmas beer countdown box. It's like an advent calendar for beer. It's 24 bottles of that. Darlene and the girls are coming home, so that's cool. But the dogs aren't being too noisy, so yeah, we can live with it, right? Something else coming up. I did a video on how to flush your in-floor heating. Something that I hadn't done. I've been here for 12 years. I know, bad for me. I'm usually good for maintenance. Something that I guess is recommended to be done at least every, 3 to 5 years. And I am doing a wine cooler update. I have the wash. Hey Greg, you asked me a long time ago, how long does it take to clear the wine cooler wash when you use turbo yeast? After sitting on the fermenter for 2 weeks, I put it in secondary, 3.5 months, and it's crystal clear. You should see the pictures that I have. They're pretty neat. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do an interesting twist with it. And do I have anything else? And one last thing, the ginger beer recipe. I've got it filmed. I'm this close to rendering the last episode that I have, because I'm going to have 2 so far. And then I got to do a tasting. So I've got plans in the works for doing the tasting. I know Jake's on board. I know somebody else is also interested. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully I'll have that video ready to be uploaded when the rest of them are being released. So they're not too far off. Man, I'm making good time. There's 6 minutes left before this boil is done. Alright, I may be able to actually make this really, really short, because I covered everything that I wanted to write down. So yeah, I know. Where did the time go? I saw a lot of YouTubers as well, videos where people are saying the same thing. Sorry, it's been 8 months, and wow, I didn't realize so many people took a break. So, hopefully, I've got all caught up on my comments by now. This video is released. We're all happy. And what do you think of the new logo? I couldn't really think of something that would have represented 45. Northeast is 45, so hey, it works, right? It's either that or a protractor, and I think compass really suits me better with, you know, the bushcraft interest that I have. So, anyhow, I'm going to cut this off. Cheers, everybody. I'm glad you're all still around, and if you're just new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you join me. Anyways, I guess this has been long enough, so cheers, everybody. Thanks for being there, and stay tuned. I have some more videos in mind, so I'm sticking around for a while yet. Till next time, be happy.